Greetings, what is up, and a very warm welcome to the channel. The sun is hiding, the rain is pouring, and the magpie is casting. Coming to you guys right now after a week of absence where I've been horrendously ill, for which I do apologise, but these things happen, especially when you live somewhere with such a miserable weather and climate. But I'm feeling slightly better now. I tried casting like a couple of times over the last week or so, but it just didn't go very well. There was just way too much grossness, and it just didn't work. There was no product that I would have been happy uploading to the channel, so didn't upload anything. But I'm back now. I'm still a bit gross, so I'm probably gonna have to like mute the mic every so often to you know, do gross stuff and like cough and blow my nose and so on. But definitely feeling... Whoa, what was that? Oh, damn, postman being really loud. But yeah, definitely feeling able to cast once again. So, without further ado, let's introduce these two fine players spawning in the east, playing as the Soviet pieces. It is the beast known as Love Nest. And spawning in the west, playing as the Overcommand West pieces. It is what I'm pretty sure is a load of Greek text, who I guess I'm going to call Greek. Because I think I cast this guy before and I called him Russian, and everybody out there who's way less ignorant than I did handily correct me, and this is not Russian font, this is Greek font. I think that they do overlap. I think there are some characters, some Greek characters that they do use in Russian, but I think you can usually spot Russian because there are Latin characters in there as well, and these are all Greek characters, so hopefully I'm right this time. Not sure about that. But anyway, the map's going to be Vilshanka. These two players are going to move out and get themselves acquainted. Looks like we've got a special rifle command opening here from our Soviet player. Going to be a clown car opening. Looks like both these players have gone ahead and picked their commanders like straight away. So we've got Panzer Elite Commander here, going to be being used for Greek. And Love Nest is going to be going for the Armoured Assault Tactics. So there you go, gets the radio intercept, T-34-85, crew vehicle repair, and the IL-2 Sturmovik attack, and the IS-2 heavy tank there to angle 4 in the late game. So Love Nest here, going to be going for the special rifle command opening. Did I say Greek was doing that? Anyway, whatever. Love Nest going for the special rifle command opening. Going to have a clown car on the field. Looks like we've got penals out as well. Exchanges already going on the map. And as these two players get the initial scuffles underway, I'll keep the camera on the action and comment on anything super noteworthy. But it has occurred to me, okay, and this is a complete tangent, but it's something I'm thinking about doing. Obviously, I love casting RTS games. Company of Heroes 2 and Homeworld Deserts of Karak, obviously, they're in my wheelhouse, and I love casting them. And if I felt that I was good enough to cast StarCraft 2, I probably would. I love casting StarCraft 2, and it's very entertaining to do so, but I just don't have the core skills and knowledge to really do, like cast at the standard that I would like to cast that game. So, I don't. But there is another game that I do know very well, and I do enjoy just a ton, and that I would actually be happy casting. So I'm thinking about bringing some content to the channel. Now, it is a bit of a departure because it's not an RTS. I'm talking about Magic the Gathering, which is a card game, but it is also focused on strategy, tactics, and crucially for me, because I've realised this is what I find quite fascinating about a lot of my hobbies, decision making. Magic the Gathering is a very decision-intensive game, and it's really cool. I've been getting into Magic the Gathering Arena recently, and I might upload some videos. Now, don't worry, if I do decide to go and upload some Magic the Gathering content, it is not going to interfere with my RTS casting schedule. The two hobbies are very different in my life, and I've always been able to sustain both. I've been playing Magic the Gathering since way back in the 90s. In 4th edition was when I got started. I think I was like 4 or 5 years old or something. I was pretty young. Actually, it was before 4th edition. I started playing in Revised in the Dark, but 4th edition was where I really got into the game. Anyway, I've just been, playing some really fun decks online, and there have been quite a few games that I've played where I've been like, you know what, I wish I was recording that because that was a really cool game, and there were some moments in that game that I would love to go back and talk about and make videos about, so that people who are learning Magic or interested in Magic can use them as a resource for advancing their own knowledge. Anyway, that's enough about that. It's just something that's kind of on the back burner of my mind that I'm thinking about doing perhaps at some point. Let's turn our attention back to this game because things have gotten rather interesting. We've got the 221 Scout car out here. So this is the 221 Scout car. The Command Scout car, which now comes with the Panzer Elite Doctrine. A really interesting unit, one I've always wanted to see used. I hope we get to see it vet up so that we can see some of the cool things it can do later on in the game. It does get a stack of really cool abilities. And so I really hope that we can see Greek look after this. And whoa! this clown car coming in so hard. If he was here like 10 seconds before, he might have even been able to like pick off this tech building, which would have been a nightmare. Actually, you know what? No, the flat gun has it covered, so it just wouldn't have happened. But anyway, yeah, a lot of pressure being put down here. Lovenest really flexing his muscles. He is like just a ferocious player. And I'm absolutely not surprised to see him applying pressure in this way. Looks like PTRS is already down on the on these penals as well. So scary stuff. This clown car definitely hitting home with a fair amount of heft here. 3 squads of Volks and the 221, all that we have on the roster here for Greek. So I don't know if I missed a squad wipe. I don't think I did. I mean, he's had to buy a tech building, and of course he has that 221. So yeah. OKW teching is slightly more expensive, I believe, to get to this stage. So, anyway. Here comes the 221 and some Volks. Oh no, they're getting forced straight back. Let's crack the tack and see what the situation is here. Pretty dire for our Overcommand West player. As you can see, Allied forces in blue here. Taking the majority of the map. Only 2 resource points connected right now as well. So that's pretty dire times for our Axis player, who's fighting here just on the north of his base. Never where you want to be, especially not this early in the game. Flammenwerfers, Penal Battalion, a 221, just not going to be enough to deal with this kind of stuff. Those PTRSs just hitting home for such value. This is an ideal target for them. How much does this thing cost? Let me just check. How much does the 221 cost? Only 15 fuel, actually, so it's pretty cheap. Alright, so you're not feeding too much veterancy onto those penals. And finally able to break out of his base a little bit here. Look, I love this. He's got, like, the radio aerial on it and everything. See this 221 with the... Oh, that's so cool. Man, what a cool unit. I really want to play this commander a little bit more. The trouble is I'm just too obsessed with the new OKW commander. He's awesome. So, a moment of peace here as... Lovenest has to go back and reinforce Realm's units. Just a moment here where hopefully Greek can get out on the map. He's going to try and grab a fuel point, which he desperately needs. Can't be letting your allied opponent have double fuel for this long. Looks like Lovenest, though, not entirely dead on the map. Has some penals in south, and now his units are ready to try and take another fight. So here they come. Now, I'm not sure if I said it in a previous cast or not, but my new mouse has arrived. And it's great. It's a lovely mouse. It's fantastic. I'm really glad I got it. It's going to be, I hope, a worthy replacement for my veteran previous mouse. But it has not solved the camera jerking issues. So what I thought was a hardware issue is clearly not. So if anyone has any ideas about why, when I hold middle mouse to scroll, the camera occasionally just jerks out and goes mad, just please let me know. In the meantime, to compensate for this, I've adjusted the settings so that it's much easier for me to use keyboard scroll. I hope it's not too jerky, so do please let me know, viewers, if you're finding the camera just like too motion sickness inducing or whatever. Feedback is always super useful, so let me know what you think. I'm now using a combination of keyboard scrolling and mouse middle wheeling to get around, so that's just something else I thought I'd reveal or let everyone know. T70 here, going to be coming on out here, so looks like Lovenest has his Tank of E Battalion command. We're going to see the Soviet light tank here on the field momentarily, and it will be devastating. There's no answer at all, really, for the Axis forces. I mean, obviously, he's got Fausts on his Volksgrenadier, but you've got to be very lucky to cure a T-70 using Fausts alone.
T-70 light tank is alive.
So, we're going to have to see a Kettenwerfer here from Greek, and he has the money for it right now, so hopefully he'll respond promptly to sighting the T-70. Looks like the T-70 going to be deployed into mid or south of mid of the map. Oh no, that was a squad wipe on some Volks. You can ill afford to be losing your core infantry at any stage in the game, but it always hurts when it's early on. I suppose at least there wasn't much veterancy or equipment on that squad, and at least his manpower income is high enough that he can think about, oh no, he goes ahead and replaces it straight away, cancels that because the T-70's come out, so now he knows he has to get a Kettenwerfer. No, going to get a Puma, because of course he has the mechanized command. I like this a lot. But there's going to be a little window of time here where he's just leaning on 4 infantry squads to hold off this relentless wave of, oh my goodness, make that 3 infantry squads, to hold off this relentless wave of Soviet assault. Oh my, how does he get that MG34 out of there? I mean, it wouldn't be the end of the world because he'd probably be able to pick it up from this location, but damn, man, that's some nasty stuff. He gets it out there, veterancy intact though. 221 actually, speaking of veterancy, has quite a lot on it as well. So definitely chipping in for some damage. Right, here comes the Puma, and look at these army sizes. I mean, with the Puma arrives, so that's 37 to 43. It just gives you an idea of just how badly this early game has gone here for Greek. and the disparity he now finds himself under. Going to be pushing out, but I mean, look at this. Soviet control being flexed over all 3 victory points. The scoreline opening up. 140 tickets in this already. Loveness just smashing face right now. And Greek, you know, he's duking and jiving. He's not lost his composure. He's still making good decisions, but he's just not quite had the best of exchanges out on the field. Anyway, Puma's going to reveal itself. Not sure what I think of this, but I guess he wants to start betting it up, and that does make sense. He can chase Soviet forces out of this area. Volksgrenadiers looking to get back out on the field. Of course, he does have the manpower now. I'd love to see him re-grab his 3rd squad of Volks, although I just have to mute my mic a second. Alrighty, and we're back. Yeah. I'd love to see him replace those Volks. He's floating the manpower now. So, or even grab a Kettenwerfer. Actually, your opponent's had double fuel for so long, an early Kettenwerfer is probably going to be useful. Who knows? This Puma just kind of hanging out here, not doing a lot, taking fire randomly. Got to be careful. Any of these penals could be grabbing. Yeah, see, PTRS is about to pop up at any time. So you gotta be mindful of the positioning on this Puma. Now, where's the T-70 at? Okay, it's back at base waiting to be repaired. And actually, if we look at the minimap, okay, German forces are being resurgent here. Storm Pioneers in the north, Volksgrenadiers in the south are finally grabbing some points. He grabs a VP, stemming the bleed. He grabs a fuel point, hopefully. And then GG's. What did I miss? Oh, he lost his Puma. Right. Oh, man. I was just assessing the scenario. Did he just lose that Puma to PTRSs? Oh, no. All right, well, you know. That's the great thing about any zero-sum game, about most RTSs and about most of the games that I like, is the game can end at any moment, right? That you're not guaranteed to see a close game. These are not Queensberry rules. If you have the advantage and your opponent is down, like, the correct move is to kick them repeatedly until they tap out. Like, these are the kind of games we're dealing with here. So, okay, we're just going to head back into the spectator lobby and pick another one. So we've got a game with Jove against ProDigylgi. Yeah! All right. Okay. The reason I'm hyped about this is ProDigly actually was I had cast a game between these two recently, where, spoilers first of all, if you have not watched the game between Jove and ProDigly that's up on my channel, I'm pretty sure it was ProDigly. By Jove, you should go and watch it because it was just a nail biter, an amazing game. And now I'm going to start talking spoilers. So if you really want to not spoil an amazing battle, go watch it now, because ProDigly actually took that game off of Jove, which seems amazing because every other Jove game I've had on the channel recently has just been like a trunching is a new word that I've heard recently. Yeah, just he's been trunching his opponents. People getting trunched by Jove. So, yep. It's never good. Jove also being idle here for a good 10 seconds, likewise never good. ProDigly looks like he's actually awake. Jove probably just off getting a drink or just like alt-tabbing to get back to the game or something. Here he is, he's here. Hey! So, the map is Kolodny Farm, and spawning in the east, it is the most imperious, most devastating, most achievingest monster who's ever played this game as far as I know. It is Jove! And, oh yeah, playing as the OKW pieces, I should say. And spawning in the west, playing as the American forces, the only man to have taken a game off of Jove on my channel in recent times. It is ProDigylgi! Which I realise his name is ProDigylgi, or Prodigy something or other. But, I mean, he's capitalised this in a way which I'm afraid obliges me to call him ProDigylgi, and that's what I'm going to call him. Okay. So, these two players going to move out here. Let's have a look. What's Jove rocking at the moment? Feuersturm? Jove is rocking Feuersturm. What a man. And he's also rocking Grand Defensive Doctrine, my favourite OKW doctrine at the moment. And Scavenge Doctrine, my favourite all-rounder and definitely my most played commander of all time in this game. So nice to see Jove got a roster here that I can firmly approve of. ProDigylgi going to go ahead and cut me off before I can actually get around to assessing his loadouts. But he is going for a WC51 build, so this is going to be interesting. Let's have a look here. It's the Mechanized Company, Reserve Armor, Mechanized Groups, M21 Mortar Half-Track, Cavalry Rifleman, and Combined Arms are the abilities that he's going to have available to him, all of which unlocked before 4 command points, so fair to say there's more of an early game-oriented commander. American Forces, of course, not a faction that is wanting in the late game generally. I mean, no faction has a full plate in the late game, and the American Forces don't have a Tiger or have King Tiger or IS-2 or anything like that, but, I mean, or they don't even really have a Panther equivalent, is what I'm saying. But, you know, the Jackson is a fine late-game tool, and American commanders have been playing without the Pershing for a long old time, so he should be fine. If he can use this, if he can leverage this commander to get a good early game, to get himself into a nice mid-game, I could totally see him taking taking another game off of Jove. We're just going to have to see how it plays out here. WC-51 is out on the field already, so let's take a look at this unit because it's been a long time. So you get the light truck. You can call this in very early. It costs an amount, which I'm going to clarify, is 200 manpower. It comes with, let's take a look here, mark target. A vehicle will be marked by the WC-51 crew, increasing its vulnerability to damage. A recon plane will also fly out to keep track of the vehicle. So you get basically Soviet-marked vehicle for 40 munitions off of a unit. You get the artillery call-in for 180 munitions, and you get, of course, like all American vehicles, the step on it. Plus, you get the WC-51 itself, which you can basically use as a clown car. So, good unit. For 200 manpower. It was 200, wasn't it? Yeah, for 200 manpower, yeah, nicht so schlecht. Looks good to me. 45 munitions for a MG upgrade as well. And look, when people are trying to fight you, you can just drive all over them. In these early stages of the game, your Axis opponent, I mean, certainly if they're playing OKW, but I mean, your Axis opponent ain't going to have Fausts until like the 4-minute mark or so. And that's if they, you know, went for it straight away. Sververmax Schlepper, you see just now coming out onto the field. So, yeah, no danger of Fausts for a while. For those of you who don't know, of course, Volksgrenadiers only get Panzerfausts once you have one tech truck deployed, once you've built your first building, essentially, for OKW forces. And so that's why, in these early fights, which are all just about positioning and DPS, you can just use the truck to nudge people around, and it's super annoying because instead of maintaining their positioning and outputting DPS, their little infantry models are getting shunted around by a WC-51 truck. Super annoying. So, looks like we've got a squabble here in mid. Jove getting Storm Pioneers into a decent position. Wants to take the victory point lead early on. American forces, for now, having to yield. And if I crack the TAC, you can see the situation here. Lieutenant Tech is out, but Jove with the majority of field control. But ProDigylgi giving a good account of himself, and has up until now. Basically, it's been 50-50 field control. So basically, the very early game going about as evenly as it can, as I just paused for a second. Goodness me, sorry, I'm still quite gross, so have to take care of these things from time to time. WC-51 with some attendant riflemen. Now, these are the cavalry riflemen, who I believe have grease guns. Let's have a zoom in here. Yeah, so they're rocking grease guns. An amazing weapon, the grease gun. Functionally similar perhaps to an MP30 or something like that would be the Axis equivalent. It's a submachine gun, but unlike the Axis version, which is just like a fine weapon, it's well made and all this, the American grease gun was like pressed out of so few pieces of metal. Honestly, when you see it, it's like probably second only to the AK-47 for simplicity of construction. Frankly scary that human beings can achieve such lethality out of such simple tools and materials and manufacturing processes. Says something probably about the species, that. But anyway, quad Volks right now for Jove. Oh, those are some mines, bro. So utility car out here, going to be joining the WC-51. Immediately falls foul of some mines, going to pop smoke. Looks like Volksgrenadiers would love to connect a Faust onto that one. And to that end, they are going to push forward. Riflemen going to screen and provide some DPS here. The Volks still pursuing this utility car, and it looks like, yep, that's just too much fire. Jove going to think better of it, but whoa, I've just missed the demise of the WC-51 getting taken out here up in the north. Not quite sure. I imagine it got Fausted, then finished off by rifles. So, yep, that's a thing that happened. I did miss that one. Looks like the... Oh, no, sorry, that's the utility vehicle group. My bad. But, you know, that's only 200 manpower. Losing the WC-51, it's a bit like losing the clown car, really. You sort of account for it when you build it. These units are never long for this world. And it's a very rare game indeed where you see, like, a 5-star clown car or a 5-star... Kubel or, you know, whatever. Not that anyone builds Kubels these days. Actually, seriously, what's going on with the Kubel car, guys? That used to be one of my favorite units of all time, and now I just never see it because it doesn't really achieve a lot. Yeah, it caps and stuff, but I mean, you're gonna lose it really early. It needs to cost less or do something more, I think, is my opinion. The community balance team are absolutely boss, and my hat goes off to them. But I think the Kubel in need of some love, people. Let's see if we can get that done. Look at the minimap. In fact, let's crack the TAC, and we can see this is a phase of American domination right now. Jove's forces having to lay low and be a little bit scarce with the lieutenant on the field, rifleman resurgent all over the place, utility car also just bossing these poor Volks around. Yep, not a lot Jove can do until his Panzer II arrives, which it is now here. So now that with the Panzer II here, the balance of power will be redressed, and Jove can start trying to take some good fights in earnest. There we go, immediately laying in some riflemen and mowing some down. And looks like a Stuart. Going to be the choice by ProDigylgi to address this Panzer II. And of course that makes sense. The Stuart definitely, I mean, it always used to be the best light tank in the game. Could be wrong, but how much does it cost these days, actually? Let's have a look. Okay, still costs 70 and 270. Yeah, I mean, yeah, just basically all. It's hard to argue. It's hard to argue it's not the best light tank in the game, unless like a lot has changed. But like that gun on it is just so useful. I don't know if it still has the target tread ability on it. You know, the one which is to stun enemy vehicles. If it does, that's great. Obviously, it doesn't have an autocannon. It has like a regular light tank gun, which does mean that it's favoured in any fight against a Panzer II as well. So that makes it a pretty smart choice right now. Actually, you know what? For all I've just said about the Stuart being the best light tank in the game, that's really only on in stats and on paper. My honest vote for the best light tank in the game is still the T-70. That thing's an absolute monster. Anyway. So, let's crack the tack. Jove's forces moving out, trying to get something done. American forces, mostly for now, falling back. So there's a window of time here where Jove can look to get something done. His forces are in the ascendancy. Stuart reveals itself. The Panzer II knows it has to be scarce now. Gets a hit on the Panzer II, always nice to get some veterancy. And let's have a look at the scoreline here. Pretty much exactly even, which surprises me actually, seeing as how ProDigylgi feels like he's had the majority of field control the majority of the time.
The capture point is under attack.
So yeah, that's very interesting.
Be advised. Ability ready for deployment.
Oh, so you can upgrade them with 2 Tommies. Okay, so they come in with grease guns and you go upgrade them with 2 Tommy guns on these cavalry riflemen. What else do they get here? Anti-vehicle satchel charge. Wow. That's pretty cool. Smokescreen grenade and fire superiority. Is that just the thing that riflemen have? Nope. Okay, so that's a cavalry rifleman thing. Very interesting. Okay, so a massive American blob here, just kind of coming out to mid. Looks like ProDigylgi really wants to take mid. Jove's going to go for Feuersturm. It's going to be a Feuersturm game, guys. Oh, this is pretty exciting. As the Stuart and overwhelming amount of American infantry here. Going to push in. Panzer II just milking a little bit of value here. Going to try and shoot in. I'm sure that the Stuart will shift that one away. And, yeah, ProDigylgi basically flexing right now, shoving Jove around. I think these Volks are going to take north for now, so that's okay for Jove. Was that another WC-51? Oh no, sorry, that's a three-quarter ton ambulance joining. I thought we were seeing like a late WC-51. That would be super interesting. Oh my god, so, okay. Combined arms is the munitions dump for this particular commander. So if ProDigylgi finds himself stacking munitions at any point in this game, and I mean really stacking, I wonder if he wouldn't mind just pressing this button for me to watch, because I haven't seen it used for a very long time.
Ready to execute.
Okay, so we've got an Opel Blitz cargo truck. This is just a real trucker's game, this one. What does this even do? I can't remember. Hang on, there's combat going on. But an Opel Blitz combat... So, lightly protected truck supplies troops with munitions while carrying and reinforcing the infantry on the field. So it can carry 2 squads. It can distribute medical supplies. I'm failing to see this distributes munitions ability. Interesting. Anyway, looks like we got another Schwervermacht Schlepper moving onto the field just now, so we're going to see if Jove is going to be going for what his next tech building is going to be. You have to feel it's probably going to be the Schwer Panzer HQ. Oh my goodness, I hate being ill. This is such a good time for viruses. The air is so cold and moist, and it makes the virion particles like incredibly stable. So this is why people get colds at this time of year. For those of you who didn't know, I actually studied microbiology and virology, so These things are very close to my mind. Anyway, looks like we've got a Panzer II here, going to be chewing into these American forces. The Stuart looking to keep it back. The Panzer II still actually able to find value. These Volks in the building, yeah, there we go. Jove going to yield there. Staying until the absolute last minute, as you would expect. American forces are claiming north, Axis forces are claiming south, and this game, which has been very even, continues to be so. Something of a scoreline, a scoreline differential has opened up here, though. Jove leading by about, what, 45 odd tickets, you know, coming up to 50. So that's pretty good for him. Both armies' compositions looking great. Jove, 4 squads riflemen. He's got the Kettenwerfer joined in there. The Panzer II still kicking it, and the Opel Blitz cargo truck. Okay, so it just heals infantry around it. Medical supplies to nearby squads, allowing them to heal themselves. That is confusing because over here it says supplying munitions. It clearly supplies medical supplies. But that's awesome. What a great unit to have. Wow, a mobile healing truck. Basically the equivalent of a 3/4 ton ambulance, but for the Axis forces. I don't suppose it can no, it can't reinforce, but still, pretty damn cool. Okay, I was just going to say I would love to see a 50 cal. Yep, so the American forces with a 50 cal. We've seen ProDigylgi do this before. He keeps a 50 cal up here in north, and then he keeps another one here-ish in mid, and it's just really good on this map. In fact, you know what? It was this game, it was this map that we saw these two players play on before as well. So, yeah, we're kind of familiar, or at least I'm kind of familiar with ProDigylgi's strats on this map. Looks like it's going to be Obersoldaten here for Jove, coming straight away out of the Panzer HQ. No Panzer Authority required for that, so this is relatively early Obersoldaten coming out. And I like the choice. These early Obersoldaten, if well supported and looked after, once they start vetting up, are absolute monsters. I wonder if they still get suppression as a veterancy ability, because that's like utterly, utterly brutal. Jove's position right now relatively compacted. You can see on the map the lion's share of resources going right now to the American player. So ProDigylgi looking pretty nice right now. That was the most overdone death noise. Jeez, that guy really felt that.
The capture point is being overrun.
So here are the Obersoldaten. Do they still get suppression? Suppressive fire. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, so that's pretty brutal. It's good stuff. Oh my god, I just... The American voice files really just kind of get to me. I don't know what it is, I just can't deal with them. So anyway, yeah, two really well-balanced forces. Obersoldaten getting stuck in, going to be in this church up here, that's real nice for them. The Stuart is in the hood near this Kettenwerfer, but not finding any line of sight right now is Jove. Panzer II going to displace this 50 cal out of north, and that is pretty much the only American unit up here. So Jove finding an opening to get some ground up there in north. Schwer Panzer HQ with Panzer Authority now completed. Going to be using that flat cannon to clear American forces who were assaulting in the south. And Jove's position actually starting to look pretty good. He has north, he has south in terms of the victory points. He has units encroaching and chewing up ground all over the map. This Stuart is doing well, but only 5 kills on that thing. But anyway, 2 stars of veterancy, it's doing well. Another Kettenwerfer coming out there, and I feel like the opportunities for this Stuart are just being curtailed and limited so much by Jove. Major tech finishes, so we'll see what ProDigylgi wants to get from that building shortly. He has 80 fuel right now, reasonable income, assuming other things to be equal. Obersoldaten get into this building, but the grease gun toting cavalry riflemen are right here up on top of them. There is fighting going on in mid with the 2 light tanks going on and numerous other squads up right up in the north. But these Obersoldaten, did they die? Where did they go? Okay, they did fall back. LMG-34 upgrades finished on them, so they are fully equipped, ready to wreak havoc and deal a ton of damage. Panzer II still squeaking in damage. Stuart going to move in to challenge it here in north. And it will. Panzer II going to skedaddle as fast as its little tracks will carry it. And if I crack the tack, it looks like American forces right now set to push. Jove with all the work to do. ProDigylgi going to grab mid. He needs to get those riflemen into some cover. I think there's some here which they would like. But yeah, Panzer II is going to come through here. He is going to get the cap. I was worried that might get denied by a roving Panzer II, but he's okay. Whoa, utility cars at 3-star vet on roads move fast. Jeez. Alright, scoreline still about even. What an amazing game to have just found on the ladder. This is super sweet. I'm excited that we've been able to cast this. I just wish my voice was at 100%. I'm being sabotaged by my own sinuses right now. Okay.
A capture point is being overrun.
Alright, there's going to be a big fight, I imagine. Taken soon. These two players are so smart, though. Look at how they space their units out, not overcommitting to any one area of the map, maintaining presence in north, south, and mid, which Kolodny Farm sort of loosely is broken up into 3 lanes, the way the map works. So you do need to maintain a presence in each of the 3 lanes, ideally, to be capping or defending or attacking as appropriate. Kettenwerfer finally manages to find the Stuart there. Nice shot. But ProDigylgi just right on top of it. Dude, these two players, their multitasking is so hot. It's going to be a Jackson, I believe. So yeah, Jackson coming up here for the American player. Sorry, that's a Sherman. Oh. Wow, so this is an M4376 Sherman. I don't remember this one. Alright, well this is some kind of pimp Sherman that I don't remember because I basically have never cast this commander, like so rarely anyway. So yeah, some kind of pimp Sherman with the option for a dozer blade going to be coming out here. Awesome, okay, so this commander does have something for the late game. He gets the pimp Shermans. I was not cognizant of this until just now. Okay, this changes the way I see this commander quite considerably. He does have an offering to help you out in the late game.
Tank support is here. Sherman ready.
Oh, dearie me. It's nice to be casting again, but I'm suffering. Some attack ground rounds going to be coming off this Kettenwerfer. Let's have a look here. So we've got 1 Kettenwerfer in north, 1 Kettenwerfer in south. What happens to the 50 cal? Okay, so we're up to 2 50 cals now. They're both in the same building. Oof, do not approach. Here comes the beefy Sherman. Look at the chunky gun on that one. 50 cal pintle mount upgrade. Going to be finishing momentarily as well.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
And looking to wreck some face and make a statement here is ProDigylgi. Coming on out. Going to reveal the Sherman up here in north. Ooh! Just immediately Gibbs a couple of Volks Grenadiers, heavily wounds the rest, forces a squad back with its very first shot, but then takes a Kettenwerfer to the nose and is forced to retreat just for a moment. Can't be overexposing that one. 12 kills, 2 stars of veterancy on the Panzer II, alive still at the 20-minute mark, so doing very nice is that Panzer II, but then with Jove's micro, would you expect any different? And, you know, to be fair, nearly 3 stars of veterancy on this damn Stuart, so like both light tanks giving a great account of themselves. American blob tactics coming up here. Axis forces insufficient here to repulse, and ProDigylgi will have his way with north of map as well. He needs to. For a moment here, he's going to be under a triple cap. Probably, I think, the first one of the game, and ProDigylgi got a scramble here. You don't want to be losing a victory point. You don't want to have a victory point differential opening up, least of all against Jove. You don't want to be forced to take bad fights against Jove in the late game. That will cost you the game. He's just too good. You cannot let this open up. So immediately, ProDigylgi gets up on top of north with his lieutenant. I would love to see him try to get something onto mid. Some sort of a barrage coming in here. Was that the American Major barrage? Where's the American Major? It could have been him. I don't know. So yeah, some kind of barrage coming down. Wow, look how far up these Storm Pioneers are. Not often you see Axis forces able to take this point, but yeah, really nice. Cracked attack here. These two players are so active. Their decision making with how they distribute their forces across the map is so astute that it's actually quite difficult to feel like I have the camera where the most pivotal action is taking place, because there's always action going on, it seems, in basically in north, south, and mid of map. And all of the fights are well balanced and well supported, and there are interesting decisions being made all over the map, so this one definitely a challenge to cast. Is that a mortar half track? Where are these shells coming in from? Oh, it's the smoke launcher off of the Sherman. Took me a second there, Whoa, loads of Americans hollering about something going on up here in north. Whoa, the Major is probably going to get Gibbs. Are we going to see a squad wipe? No! ProDigylgi, too good. And that's a Panther tank rumbling onto the field. So, pardon me. we are essentially into the late game now as we have a Panther versus a 76 Sherman. Pack Howitzer as well on the field, by the way. I forgot to mention that. So yeah, this has been on the field for a few moments now for the American player. So I like mixing in some indirect fire. Jove yet to do so. Always nice to have that complexity, that diversity in your army. That's the kind of stuff that victory's made of. So I like the choice of the Pack Howitzer and the 250 cals. Yeah, no MGs as well out of Jove at all. His composition definitely more brute forcey, more simple in a way. These Obersoldaten as well. 2 kills, not even 1 star of veterancy on them. Getting used for chump capturing duty. Kind of not really what you would rather have Volks doing this. Like, you always want Volks to be taking fire whilst the Obersoldatens are dishing fire. So yeah, these Obersoldaten actually, for how early they came out, haven't really had the best game. No, now they're getting chewed up by a Pack Howitzer as well, feeding a ton of veterancy onto that thing. I say, it takes like a billion years to vet up, of course. So, yeah. No, look how ProDigylgi always uses this area as the seat of his power. He always has 1 50 cal in this building if it's alive, or around here if it's not, and then another 50 cal up here. He hasn't back-teched. No, he has got Captain. Yeah, this is it. He always back-techs to Captain to have access to anti-tank guns, which he'll mix into his composition when he feels comfortable doing. So, Panzer II going to be used as bait here for a Sherman, but ProDigylgi not gonna bite off more than he can chew. I'm sure if he chased in too far, the Panther would have come in and all kinds of nasty stuff would have gone down with Faust and Kettenwerfers. But he's too good to fall for something so simple. Yeah, but as I was saying on this map, ProDigylgi's strat definitely to make his seat of power here and then have a really good balance of units around that area. American blob coming through here. Possibility of a squad wipe on these Volks. They are very low. We'll see how lucky they get. Okay, yep, that's a squad wipe. So wiping core infantry off of Jove's roster here. He has the manpower to replace them. But that's the kind of stuff which is really going to help. This is the kind of time in the game where replacing core infantry is the last thing you want to be spending your resources on, and losing all of the equipment and veterancy on those units is really vital. Let's crack the tack, and you can see Axis forces pushing and capping in north. But there are still American opposition here. Americans looking resurgent in south, to be fair. The scoreline, actually still ProDigylgi behind, but he's going to grab himself the advantage here in just a moment. So it'll be Jove who's on the clock. And just a lovely composition being reached by both of these players. I think Jove does need to diversify a bit. Like, I wouldn't hate a Stukas or like a light gun. I know he doesn't have the building for that. Wait, where does the Stuka come from? Yeah, it is this building. Okay, cool. I'm just making sure. Just making sure that I know what I'm talking about. Holy spoons, that's a Flamhetzer. I just don't even know. We've entered the Twilight Zone. This is now into the realm of the bizarre. I don't even know what this unit is about. I mean, obviously, burninating the countryside and the allies is what the unit's about. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so that was the Panzer II going down. Sorry, I'm getting so confused. Okay, so the Panzer II goes down. That's probably fine. I mean, you'd rather not lose it, but it's acceptable. But Jove just kind of getting a bit compacted here. Look at the map. American forces are pushing so hard. Axis forces desperately retreating. Possibility of a squad wipe on some Volks here. But luckily, another target comes in, shields the retreating unit from fire. What did I just miss? Something else just went down. Holy spoons, was that the Stuart? That was the Sherman! Was it? No, that was the utility car. Okay, the Sherman's being repaired. Righto, righto, we're cool, we're cool. American forces like super complex to cast, or not super complex, just more difficult. Because you look up here, you hear a vehicle die, and you're like, the Sherman's not on the roster, and then you're like, okay, no, it's just being repaired. So anyway, here comes the plucky little Flamhetzer. Oh my god, my voice is giving in so hard, hang on. Oh my god. Why have I got such a great game to cast when my voice is not feeling it? Okay, Flamhetzer comes in, starts flamming some hets, starts hetzing some flam. You can upgrade it with a machine gun as well. Okay, starts just werfing these guys with flam. It is werfing the flam real hard. Stuart gonna deflect it for now. How much is this little thing anyway? Does it look? You have to build it from the Schwer Panzer HQ? Are you kidding me? 90 fuel? Okay, I don't know about that. I mean, we'll see whether 300 manpower and 90 fuel is a considerable investment. You know, you're like 55 fuel away from, I mean 55 is a lot, but you're 55 fuel away from a Panzer IV at that point, and that's like a real unit, so I don't know, we're gonna have to see what this Flamhetzer can do. Does it have any cool abilities? No. Okay. So what it does is burn allied troops. That's it. Today I'll be mostly burning Yanks. So the M1AT guns are beginning to show up now, as we thought that ProDigylgi would be doing. So he is, and that's going to keep the Flamhetzer considerably at bay for now. Of course, once the Hetzer gets any kind of a flank on this, it will burninate that gun into the ground. Nearly 1 star of veterancy on the Hetzer, at which point it will get an improved rate of fire. Then it gets max speed and rotation. Then it gets improved rate of fire again. Then it gets range. Oof. Then it gets improved sight and weapon damage. So vetting it up just makes it better at burninating. Doesn't make it any more of a complex unit. No additional abilities, no additional buttons, or no additional anything. It just gets better at flaming dudes. That's all it does. And I feel like Jove actually has been slowly worn down here. I mean, his army is still fine. He still has great units, but he is getting worn down. His score lead is all but gone, which is telling of how this last phase of play has gone. And I don't feel like he particularly has access to the most important parts of the map either. Let's have a look here. Once ProDigylgi gets to this composition where he has 2 50 cals and 2 AT guns, I imagine we'll see a second one added when he feels comfortable. This just seems like, I don't want to say Axis-proof, but definitely for now Jove-proof, like from what I've seen. On this map at least. And it's a very sensible, well thought out composition, and he positions it well. Nice! Nice! Burn some Yanks down. Oh wow. Oh no. Oh no, the countryside, it's on fire. Oh no, bye bye. Bye bye infantry. Sorry, you cannot challenge the Flamhetzer. It has its first star of veterancy. That rate of fire is increased. Which I'm loving to see, to be honest. So anyway, looks like we've got a fight up here in the north, and just, wow, Jove's forces routed. There is nothing that they can do against such reckless American armor. North VP crucially going to be taken. Jove in possession of mid at the moment and going to be grabbing south, so this is fine for him. This is acceptable. Obviously, you'd rather not give away a victory point, but it is acceptable. Finally, we've got an MG34 on the roster. Love it. Jove going to be diversifying his roster, and this is great. This is going to enable him to deny... Ah, we go, to deny mid. Oh, down to the last millisecond there, but yep, does deny it. Faust's going to be attempted on this Stuart, but it's just too damn fast for it. Pardon me.
Point is being overrun.
All right, back on it. What is this? Something is occurring. American stuff is occurring. American air units are occurring. What is this? What is this? What is this ability? Somebody who's better at the game, please tell me. Why am I hearing and seeing American units flying over? Alright, pack howitzer are going to be countering this MG34 as it's designed for. And that's great. And we're at the stage now where, look, we've got 4 weapon teams for the American player. I would love to see some indirect fire added for Jove. I just think it's actually kind of the right call now. To some extent, he has this rocket barrage that he can call in. But I think a Stuck as a Fuss would just be fine. He has the money for it, although I'm sure he's saving for something more devastating. He doesn't appear to be teching back to the... Battle Group at HQ, so I don't think... I mean, he doesn't really have the cap. And honestly, I just kind of think the King Tiger is too bad of a unit for Jove to use. I don't think the King Tiger is a very good unit. I'm not going to lie to anyone. It's fine to incorporate it into your build and your strategies, but if you were just picking 100 supply cap worth of units to fight with against somebody else picking 100 cap of supply units to fight with, like... I just don't think the King Tiger is great. I don't think it represents the best value for supply. Anyway... Faust does find the Stuart here, and Volks are encroaching. It's going to continue reversing, and we'll get out of there. Panzer IV going to get added in here. Okay, kind of an upgrade for the destroyed Panzer II here. Should give Jove the firm edge in any armor battles. Just the Sherman right now on the field for the American forces in terms of actual armor.
The enemy is overrunning one of our
And the Panzer IV we've seen many times. A fine unit for just policing the field. The many MGs on that unit produce very good DPS against infantry, and its veterancy applies against infantry as well. So, I like this. It's going to be very useful. I think this is a fine choice. Would I rather have seen the Werferman? Oh wow, did he just cancel the round before? Yeah, he did. Okay, Jove's going to change his mind. Interesting stuff. He does decide to get the REMATCH Schlepper, so maybe he is going to go for the King Tiger. Jove going for a determined assault here. I can hear the Werferman barrage being pulled in. Got to be landing a lot of American forces, but not really for as much damage as you'd like. I mean, it routed a few units, but I think it really only killed 3 or so infantry models for a 200 munitions call-in. I suppose it's always less about damage than it is about dictating positioning, but I still don't think it was that impressive for 200 munitions. REMATCH Schlepper coming forwards here does get spotted, so the American player realizes that something's afoot. That's actually a pretty big tell. Where was he hoping to deploy this, that it was so far forward? Because now the American player knows that you're probably going for a King Tiger. That's massive. Like, this is like the earliest possible timing that you could have let the American player know you're going. If this just drove here and then deployed, it could be 5 minutes before the American player gets line of sight on this exact spot here. And then your King Tiger is just less in the mind of your opponent early on, which is a weird way of saying it, I realise, but very important. Anyway, Flam, Hetzer, laminating the Americans. Up to his 2nd star of veterancy, still doing good. Sherman going to come in to ward that one away, but the Panther is here, and this Sherman by itself no match. But that's why there's a Jackson on the queue, and once that unit hits the field, the balance of power will be redressed. And again, ProDigylgi has been playing this whole game against a Panther without feeling the need to go for a Jackson for like at least 10 minutes now. I think the Panther came out around about 20 or 22 minutes. And he didn't feel the need to get a Jackson. So what's caused him to get this Jackson? I reckon probably seeing that REMATCH Schlepper around about here. Okay, because now you have a Jackson on the field with many targets. The Jackson's good against the Panther, it's good against the Flamhead. So these are targets that you can get immediate value and veterancy off of. And, of course, the Jackson is pretty damn strong against a King Tiger as well. I mean, as far as units go that the Americans have access to, it's, whoa, coming well forwards here. Not sure what this is about. Got to be careful with Jacksons, they are quite squishy. But, yeah, so, yeah, now that he's gotten wind of this King Tiger, he's able to get a Jackson on the field in advance of time. So it's going to have the edge in terms of veterancy on that King Tiger. It's going to have the edge in terms of policing this Axis armor for a little while as well. So, yeah, really liking what I'm seeing here for ProDigly, who's opened up, who's under the scoreline. Wow, sorry, I didn't realize this. Okay, yeah, Jove's field control has been pretty damn good. He has a triple cap, damn. Oh my god, pay attention, Magpie. I'm just going to blame my illness for this lack of good casting. Wow, he even booby traps the Northern CP? Oh, you never see these. Love it. The Northern VP, I should say. That's so cool. So, ProDigly right now, under the gun considerably. This is a large amount of tickets to be behind. He is going to be forced to take some engagements, I'm sure he'd rather not. And that could be game deciding. Obersoldaten finally having a slightly better run of things. 15 kills, 2 stars of veterancy, and of course laying booby traps out on the map. Dun 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 dun! Hello? Whose booby trap is this? I was just assuming that this was Jove's Obersoldaten. Oh, they've got the metal detector! God damn. Well, that's annoying. Oh man, you spend all those munitions expecting to gib some Americans only for it to be metal detected away. Very smart stuff there from ProDigly. Did he see it? He might have seen the trap being laid or something, or just like, sometimes you just get a feeling like Obersoldaten were in that area. They had a window of time, they could have put a trap down. A lot of American units moving out right now. So where are the 50 cals? One here, one just moving out, okay. I'm just checking on ProDigly's strats here, like he's such a good player, I really want to like dissect what he's doing, or at least make mental notes. The Panther getting a little bit caught out here. Flamheads are in a nice place to support. The Jackson and the... where's the Sherman? Okay, the Sherman's up in north. Looking for it. Axis forces just get totally beat out of north, actually. And Jove... Arrgh! Trying to Trying to get something done, but look how compacted Jove's position is. Look, you can really see on the tactical map. Look at this. He basically has no units out on the map right now. Wow, what? ProDigylgi feeling so brave. He commits in with the Sherman and the Jackson. He wants something. But you know, it's not even that hard of a commitment. He just wanted to run by, take a couple of extra shots. If he gets something, he gets something. And these Volks could be got right now. Okay, he's going to get out of there. Fair enough. That would have been a big ask. But a possibility, and that's what you play for in this game. Okay, so American armor going to get repaired up here in north. I'm sure the Sherman will be getting repaired. Yeah, here it is. And Jove, under the clock, under the resource differential, he's getting to King Tiger money now. He just needs another 100-odd manpower. And it will be time for the big cat. He actually can't call it in right now. Needs to free up some unit cap. I don't know what you want to sack here. Probably the Hetzer. If you have to lose a unit. MG34 gets caught out here by the Tommy-equipped cavalry riflemen. 29 kills on those boys. They've been doing good this game. MG does get out of there. Meanwhile, in north, these two players just active everywhere all the time. An exchange of grenades. And it's the Volks who are in jeopardy. That's a 5-star squad of Volks. They're so low. Oh no, Jove loses a 5-star squad of Volks at a point when he's desperately saving manpower for a King Tiger. They were 5-star. That's core infantry being wiped. And that doesn't mean the game is over, but these are the things we see. The player who loses gets their core infantry wiped in this late game stage, always just before they get defeated. So, well, often anyway. That's really tough. That is one of the last things that Jove wants to sustain. But on the plus side, he now has the unit cap for a King Tiger. So there we go. If he can just stop spending manpower for a second, which I appreciate he needs to do, but to reinforce his squads, but yeah, he's saved for this King Tiger. He probably really wants to press the button. Okay, he has 700 now. It's got to be King Tiger time, right? I'm excited. I want to see the big cat. 209 for Jove, 117 for ProDigylgi. Is he just not going to go for this King Tiger? He had the manpower. I feel like you just have to commit and get it. 5-star Kettenwerfer. Holy spoons. What does this even get? Rate of fire, mobility, armor penetration and damage, targeting and rate of fire. Wow, jeez, okay. That's a really scary AT gun. Alright, the KT's here. Silent. The Tiger is a stealthy hunter. Alright, so we've got a King Tiger on the field. Life just got really hard for ProDigylgi, who has the money for a second Jackson, and if he loses a unit so that he actually has the spare unit cap for it, I would love to see him get that. Oh, it's happening again. What is this American ability? This has got to be something that the Major is doing. Okay, so the Major has improved recon flight. Okay, alright. Nice timing, man. He's going to know where the King Tiger is getting committed. Is it going south? Is it going north? Is it going to mid? On this map, you have to feel... I mean, mid represents a fantastic killing zone for a King Tiger. And remember, the King Tiger, its key limitations are its horrendous turret traverse speed and its horrendous mobility. So if you can keep the King Tiger here, firing into this area, that's fine. Those disadvantages are somewhat negated. So... so that's where he's probably going to commit it. American forces pushing in south. Jove still holding these victory points. ProDigylgi under the clock. That's the story right now. But sorry, Jove. Wait, who's okay? I'm just wrong about that. Ah, the victory points are all being captured by everyone. King Tiger challenging an anti-tank gun in mid. It's front armor proof for now against that 8M1. The Flamheads are coming in for support here. The rocket barrage strikes home, getting a double kill. And wiping out the state. Now I would love to see him get another Jackson. He has the money, he has the cap. Get another Jackson, ProDigylgi, you're going to need it. And it is another Jackson. He's so smart because he agrees with me. But he is so smart, let's be real. Yay, he gets another... Whoa, okay. It's just American forces making me think stuff's getting wiped, but they're just getting back in their tanks. Damn, I'm so bad. Alright, Flamhetzer gets caught out here. That's a very angry Sherman. 3-star Flamhetzer would be a shame to lose, but 4-star Flamhetzer, my goodness. Yeah, Hetzer down. If he can get the trade for this Sherman, that would be insane, but I don't think he will. There's just nothing else here. Any mines or a booby trap that he put down? No. So I think the Sherman gets out. Oh well, I mean, you hate to see the Hetzer die, but hey, at least we got to see a game with a Hetzer being piloted by Jove, no less, which got to 4 stars of veterancy. It's pretty damn cool.
We just lost a medium tank.
Okay, so the Sherman did get picked off. What the? Oh my god. Okay, so the Sherman got picked off. It died. I'm not really sure how. There's just too much going on this game.
Crowds are taking one of our points.
Pardon me. Okay. So now the second Jackson is out. I actually wouldn't mind him getting a third Jackson. That's probably fine. Because it just negates all these Axis hard units. King Tiger getting stalked down by the 2 Jacksons. Meanwhile, in north, Axis forces are taking north. The Panther armored skirts have finally arrived on that baby. And I think he's going to take the fight against these Axis units. Man, these cavalry riflemen have been bruisers. Watch them run into these 5-star Volks. They just don't care. They just don't care. They're going to take that. Wow. So, okay, American forces going to take north. He's off the clock right now. Looks like Jove going to take mid. 3-star Obersoldat and do auto heal, which is really nice.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Looks like the battle for South has been won by a 50 cal against a Kettenwerfer. So ProDigylgi gets to hang on to that. And ProDigylgi takes the field. All Axis units are forced back to repair, reinforce, rearm, and get back out there. And this is the kind of stuff that in this super late game, these windows of time where you let your opponent have the VPs are what decides the game. Now, ProDigylgi's down on 87, Jove on 161, but he doesn't want to give away any tickets. Like, every single point right now is crucial. So the Panther, gonna just angrily run on out into Fog of War. Wants to shove away any American forces here to enable some Axis infantry to come in for the cap. Here comes the Stuart, which does still have a target. Oh, it's point-blank engine shot, I should say, not track shot that I was saying earlier. But it still has the ability to stun tanks. Could be relevant. Jackson rolls in, gets a nice hit. Second Jackson rolls in, gets a nice hit. The Panther now flustered. Is he going to use Blitz? No. Jove is absolutely fine. He's just going to back that one out of there. He's fine with doing that. King Tiger repaired, going to be committing back into mid. Looks like no Axis forces heading north, so Jove's making the decision right now that he has to prioritize south and mid, and that's probably okay as long as he gets them. King Tiger angling it. This is a nice place for the King Tiger, actually. Very hard to flank a King Tiger when it's like got all of this next to it. This is awkward. Look at this line of sight right here. Look at this, they just can't see each other. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. Okay, so Jove gets his teeth into south, but he's still under the clock. That won't be enough. MG34, a fine choice to hold on to that one though. King Tiger, where are you going? It looks like the King Tiger really wants to respond to this much American stuff, which is wise. But in the meantime, some Obersoldaten have gotten onto mid. There's a 50 cal covering them, so I don't know that they'll be able to capture it. Kettenwerfer gets annihilated. Look at this guy. What the? How is that? What? Look at this guy. Wow. Oh my god, he should give up fighting and just like become an athlete, because that is some speed that guy can achieve. I don't know. Are we seeing Jove get beat again? How does he come back from this? He just doesn't. His core infantry has been taxed so hard. It's going to be so hard for him to claim 2 victory points. If anyone can do it, it's Jove. 4-star Obersoldat, and that's scary. They could probably just bully this down. I mean, they're firing at the Jackson right now, but they could probably just kill the crew on this gun before it can suppress them, I think. Alright, the Panther and the King Tiger are rambling through the countryside in south. The Stuart won't be enough to repulse them. Wow, the King Tiger missing its shot, though. The 2 Jacksons are in position. Looks like they're prioritizing the Panther. No. Splitting their fire is awkward. And also not finding the penetrating hits they need against this King Tiger. They're just not finding them. This front armor pretty good, it turns out. Another Sherman's been added into the roster. I missed that. But it's here. Oversold and grabbing mid. And ProDigylgi just can't let this happen. Alright, here comes ProDigylgi, makes a play for mid. Smoke grenade comes down, gonna buy him some time. Kettenwerfer and Oversold and the forces in position here. Nobody committing any armor, this is just an infantry only scuffle right now. How's this pack howitzer been doing? 10 kills, 2 stars of veterancy, so-so. We're getting plastered! And ProDigylgi just doing what he needs to do, which is like play for time and hold on to at least 2 of the victory points. I know I'm stating the obvious, but it's what he's doing. He's doing it well. King Tiger comes forward. Jackson immediately counterpunching. Oversold Arton going to come forward. 50 cal, waiting for them. Immediately suppresses them. Pretty unlucky. There we go. They're going to have to fall back. Third Jackson, and you know what? I love it. I love it. I do. How do Axis players, like, often, not always, but how do Axis players often win in the late game? Because they have overwhelming armor advantage. Like, Panthers and Tigers and King Tigers are very good. They're really good units. And you know what are really good at beating tanks? Tank destroyers. And sometimes I just see allied players just kind of play like there's a kind of 0 to 1 limit on their tank destroyers. And there just aren't. You can get 2 Su-85s, you can get 2 Fireflies, and it's really good if you're in a very late game against an Axis player who has super good Axis late game armor. Like, 3 Jacksons makes it really hard to use your Panther and your King Tiger, and if you're not using them, how are you going to be able to contest the victory points and hold the midline on the map? You're just not. You're going to lose as the Axis player. So... I love what I'm seeing right now. I almost think an appropriate counter for Jove, if he has the spare unit cap and the resources, could be a Yag Tiger, a Yag Panzer, because it's just a unit that can chip away for value and really keep these Jacksons away, and it has camo, which the Panther and the Tiger do not. So anyway, 77 right now for ProDigylgi under the 94 of Jove. Jove manages to grab north and south. The fighting for mid, fierce and brutal. Another squad of Oversold Arton getting added in. Okay. Not sure I understand the logic here from Jove. And I'm not saying that's not to say it's a bad decision, because he's an amazing player, the very best. It's just to say that I don't understand. In this late game, when it's all about controlling the victory points and pushing with infantry, wouldn't you rather have a squad that has more models and more HP that are cheaper to replace? Especially when you're gasping for manpower in this late stage of the game. So what's the advantage of Oversold Arton? Well, they kill things better, so that's one thing. And they can booby trap points? I'm pretty sure that's not why he's getting Oversold Arton at this timing. Somebody who's better at the game, please do let me know in the comments. I am in your debt, so that'll be really useful. Why in the super late timing do you go for another squad of Oversold Arton rather than going for something like Volks? Because I feel like what you need is pushing power to get on these points and cap it, and I feel like even an MG34 might be better for that. So, yeah, somebody let me know. I'm bad at this game, please tell me. Basically. Looks like the third Jackson was cancelled or something. Or another Jackson died. I don't know, it's all becoming a viral delirium to me right now. Why did I have to get such an amazing game to cast when I'm clearly not on my game casting? Oh well, I mean, I'd always rather catch this game than not, so I can. This is like the best problem I could ever have. Alright, yeah, King Tiger hooning into these Jacksons. 3-star Jackson is so bloody scary. Panther having to join the fight without sufficient repair, or full repairs indeed. Just these Jacksons, every shot they take, just limiting the effectiveness of this Axis armor. These Oversold Arton are beginning to be a bit of a problem. I guess if you just beat the allied infantry, they can't capture the points, right? So I guess that's the take with going for these, and he still has an LMG34, which I'd love to see him move up a bit. Hey, Frangie Smoke getting used for good use as well. Oh, he breaks ProDigylgi's advance. Jove, you monster! 81 tickets for Jove, 54 for ProDigylgi. constant fighting for these points. And despite the late game being so hard to balance, Jove's lost another squad of his Volks somewhere. Despite these late games being so hard to balance, both of these guys still have fully functioning armies, but Jove's on his last legs. A lot of American forces going to commit to coming in here to try and get one of the cats, but I don't think they're gonna. The front armor's just so good. The Panther on its last legs comes back into the fight so risky, attempting to draw fire away from the KT. And American forces, is ProDigylgi going to get away with all of those units? Look how good these players are. I mean, it's just nice to watch.
A capture point is being overrun.
Okay, here comes ProDigylgi, the blob of doom, but the MG34 is not in position to suppress. Here comes Frangie Smoke again. I mean, Obersoldaten are really annoying, I will give them that, because they have Frangie Smoke and a bundle grenade. And Jove is making full use of these facts to just kill his opponent on victory points. Look at this. Oh, that's a boomer. Yep. A boomer? A grenade, you know what I mean. One of those. Panzer IV going to be the choice here for Jove. That seems okay. I mean, there is a world here where it just gets smacked in the face by like a lot of American AT and dies really fast, but it's probably fine. I mean, it just represents a fuel unit he can afford and use right now. And you know what? Again, actually, it does kill allied infantry. KT, fully repaired, going to come in, start flexing. 3 stars of veterancy. This a nasty one now. Once the King Tiger gets... Is it 3 stars where it gets the mobility? No, it's 4 stars. Once it gets to 4 stars. 3 stars it gets the blitz, which is turbo important, but 4 stars it gets the mobility. And that's when it stops, in my eyes, being a bad unit, and it just starts being amazing. But you have to get it there. Did he find that hit? No, okay. Alright. This is a close one. Jove under the clock. He's going to be under a triple cap. Jove, you can't sustain a triple cap. Oh my god, ProDigylgi's down at 30. If Jove can just push him back, and he has to do it now. Jove has to go now. How are your tanks? Panther, repaired. Panzer IV, joining. King Tiger, totally take a fight. You're okay. Get out there. Where are your infantry? Obersoldaten, they're ready. Volksgrenadier, they're ready. Okay, this has to be the push. This has to be the push. Here he comes. He has to get the map now, or he's going to lose. I reckon this is going to be the final fight of the game. I could be wrong, but I think it is. The armor goes for the overrun, and it's looking good. The Jacksons are actually somehow weak. How has this happened? The 3-star Jackson is going to die for sure. 4 stars on that Panther. What a monster. The KT coming in here from the south. The gun is busted on the KT. KT has to get out of there. 3-star Jackson goes down. The other Jackson goes down. There's still one Jackson and another one being built here for ProDigylgi, so it ain't over, but it's bloody close. 34 tickets for Jove, still under a double cap, gets some infantry in touch with mid, so he's going to stem the bleeding momentarily. In south, it looks like Obersoldaten and Storm Pioneers, they're going to take south. I think Jove might have done it. It's so hard to tell. Digly has a moment to retake. Can he do it? Where's the MG34? It's still so far back. I feel like you have to bring it forward. I guess it is covering the point. Okay, the last Jackson. Whoa, okay, the Panzer IV just goes down. The Panther goes down. That's pretty massive. This is a lot of Jacksons. How is this Jackson alive? The King Tiger limps away, but with no gun and no health. That's not a unit. And with the amount of time left in this game, I feel like it might never be a unit again. But Jove has the stronger core of infantry, and this game right now is about holding on to victory points, which he's about to start doing. So he's going to grab south. He holds mid, just fine. He's going to be fine holding mid. Jackson's not great against infantry. This Sherman doing its best, but this is a lot of smoke. Look how annoying Obersoldaten are. Okay, I totally understand. I think the reason he went for the Obersoldaten is because they just have access to some jinx. You know, they have the smoke, and they have the bundle grenades, so they're just more annoying in these positions where you're just trying to hold on to a point for as long as you can. Yeah, let's see, there they go again. And they heal themselves once they get to 4 stars, so that's not really a factor actually. Okay, what is this? Jackson coming in for a really big dive. Accidentally takes a shot into a building. Finds the KT here though. Gonna take some shots. American infantry. Oh my god, the Obersoldaten trading out to the last man. Jove knows at this point he's not going to get another attempt to take back the field, so he has to try and bleed ProDigylgi out now. 14 tickets for ProDigylgi, who's under a bloody triple cap. How did you get north, Jove? You monster! I can't believe how close this game is.
We're down to 10 points.
I can't believe how close this game is. If you push away this MG and then capture with the vehicle crew, are you in time? No, you don't need to. The captain's here. He decaps mid. I don't think he's in time. He's not in time, is he? He's going to bleed out. Jove. What? He's not in time. And that's game. Wow. I mean, Jove knew that he was never going to be able to mount a retake. Look at his judgment. Look. I mean, he just knew. So he traded out those Obersoldaten. He just did not press retreat. He traded them out for the maximum amount of time on this point, thereby inflicting the most victory point losses on his opponent, who was this close to decapping North. So let's pretend that he had 2 or 3 more victory points. Probably he gets the decap here because he can sustain 1 more tick, and then the game is still open. And as we know, Jove cannot retake. Like, there's just no time to repair the King Tiger, and there's just not enough stuff to deal with this American army, really. So yeah, Jove knew he had to make this happen, and he did. What an insane game. I feel very lucky to have caught this game. 2 amazing players who just seem to make the best games. I'm very sorry that there was a lot of floundering casting-wise during this game. I'm not 100%, it's fair to say. My throat is a mess, and I'm still slightly viral, but even so, I had a blast casting this one. It was just super fun. Amazing to watch these 2 players go at it. To see Jove use a Flammetzer as well. Oh my! If you'd have told me nothing else about this replay, I probably would have actually given you money for this replay. I'd have been like, yeah, sure, I'll cast it. Yeah, really enjoyed it. What a game! I'm struggling to find any deeper lessons or morals or points to take home from this one. These players are just so very good. ProDigylgi here, coming as close as you can possibly get to getting yet another win against Jove. But Jove ties up the score, at least on my channel, between these 2 players in games that I personally have seen, to 1-1 between them. But wow, that's it. Great game, loved it. Hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did. This for now. Magpie842 signing out.